Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's Juan Solo here with ASQD Gaming, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you all so much for tuning in today for some more Recon Breakpoint. So in today's video, we're going to be talking in depth of the massive update coming on November 9th. So this is going to add a massive update to the Ghost experience moving forward, as well as releasing alongside Title Update 3.0.3 that we touched on earlier last week. So we're going to be going down through all of this new information, and this comes from a Ubisoft article over on the official Recon Breakpoint website. I will leave a link to this down below in the description for those of you guys who want to go check it out for yourself. But with that being said, real quick before we jump into it, if you guys go on to enjoy the video, a like rating would be super appreciated. Also, for those of you that may be new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on those post notifications so you do not miss any of my future uploads. So starting off this article, on November 9th, they will be releasing the Ghost Experience update. The devs are very excited to share what the team has been working on, and they want to thank everyone for your continued feedback and support. So Title Update 3.0.3 will be building on the Ghost Experience foundation, this time focusing on adding more depth to the enemy AI and opening more possibilities for solo and stealth experience. Finally, you will be able to choose the density of drones in the world. That is one of the main features here, and we will continue to go down through all of this in depth. So with the new features, there is going to be an overhaul to the stealth mechanics. So this update brings significant improvements to the stealth playstyle, aiming to ease stealth exploration and cover multiple game systems. So what that means is, while undetected, players will now be able to deal increased damage to both drones and NPCs. This includes heavy NPCs as they are equipped with heavy armor. You'll also see enemies running out of ammo and reloading, so this will apply to all enemies with ARs. This opens up additional possibilities for you and your squad to launch counterattacks and adjust your strategy based on the enemy. The devs have also rebalanced the detection time and radio communication time to allow you to react to enemy tactics. So basically, from the moment that you are spotted to the time that the radio signal is sent to other people in the base, that has been slightly delayed, so you will have a little bit more time when you are spotted to take out that enemy before he radios for backup. Additionally, they also reduced the enemy mortar strike accuracy when you are detected, because let's be honest, that was absolutely insane that you could be all the way on the other side of a base and that mortar would literally drop right on top of you every single time. So that has been adjusted with this update. As for drones, many changes have been applied to their detection and destruction behavior. Changes will include, but are not limited to, reduction investigation movement speed, new vertical destruction trajectory and reduced destruction sound, more pauses between attacks, and no more erratic hit animations, among other changes. The full list of changes will be added to the patch notes at a later date. So now moving on to more items that your player can equip in the game. So continuing with the changes made to the gameplay mechanics, the devs have added a new item to your inventory, and this is a bullet lure. So this will allow you to lure one enemy at a time without triggering large groups of enemies by basically tossing a bullet casing towards an enemy. It will obviously make a noise and make them come and investigate. It is important to note that this will not be a replacement to the existing diversion lure, which works best with bigger groups of enemies as it has large area of effect. The bullet lure will be accessible from the item wheel, and you will have an infinite amount of it. No need to manage that. They've also added a community requested feature when it comes to grenades, so you will now be able to cook your grenades, and this will be available in both PvE and PvP. This will work side by side with other features introduced with this update, and it will allow you to be more precise with grenades and will leave no room for an enemy to react, resulting in a more effective execution. Lastly, and to add more freedom with C4, you will now be able to pick up ghost-placed C4 and mines for reuse as long as you didn't detonate them. Now moving on to some changes to the syringes. Based on feedback from players, they have added one last option to the way syringes work in-game. You can now choose whether syringes heal your injuries or not. This setting is off by default while in immersive mode, but can be toggled in the settings. Now moving on to probably my favorite one in this entire post, we have the Darkest Night, which is going to be a new option in the settings. And the devs go on to say that they are happy to introduce the new setting, Darkest Night. So this tactical setting will offer the darkest nights ever seen in Tom Clancy's Recon Breakpoint. Immerse yourself, adjust your HUD settings, and make sure that you have your NVGs and thermal vision on standby because it is going to be extremely dark. But with that being said, the one downside to that is, for at least for me personally, if I were to go into missions with the Darkest Night mode on and I upload those to YouTube, it is pretty much going to be pitch black and you guys aren't going to be able to see anything unless I activate my night vision, because the way YouTube compresses video files when you upload them to YouTube itself, it's going to make it extremely hard to see things when it is that dark. So another highly requested community feature is the ability to clean your weapons from mud, dirt, and snow. The devs understand how important this is for the players, and we can confirm that you will be able to do so from the loadout menu. Also, moving along to probably one of the main highlights of this entire post, and I know a lot of you guys that have been following my channel for quite some time are going to be really excited about this, and that is we will now have the ability to fully explore Gollum Island as a solo player. So previously there was a way to do this via a glitch, but shortly after I put up my video detailing this, the developers over at Ghost Recon patched this and pretty much locked Gollum Island off unless you were in the raid. So the devs go on to say that thanks to all the feedback, discussions, and suggestions that we saw from our players around the raid and Gollum Island, we are thrilled to announce that Gollum Island is now open for solo exploration. Prepare to explore this iconic location with 15 different settlements, 50 wild mysteries, and 12 missions, all available in solo mode. Now moving along to world modifiers and event parameters. So as the devs promised earlier this year, the Rebels and Terminators will be coming back to Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint. This time around, you will be able to activate and deactivate these parameters in the world as you please. You will be able to toggle several other settings affecting the world as well, including drones and helicopter patrols. But with that being said, you can only have one event parameter active at any given time. So currently there are the Terminator presence and the Rebel presence, but you cannot have them both active at the same time. Also, when it comes to the enemy population, based on all of the feedback that the devs received regarding drones, players will be able to determine drone presence and helicopter patrols in the world. So there will be multiple settings with this, including drone presence modifier, so you can change that to minimal and classic, as well as Azrael presence, so you can completely turn off the Azrael drones or leave them as they were in game. You can also fully deactivate helicopter patrols, or you can leave them as they were in game. So with that being said, the drone presence modifier does significantly cut down on enemy drones. It does not completely get rid of them, but for those of you guys that want to deal with less drones, I would highly recommend that you turn that modifier to minimal, and then also turn off the Azrael drones, because let's be honest here, the Azrael drones are an absolute pain and I cannot wait to see them go. So to go along with that, with the minimal presence of the drones as that modifier, you will only encounter drones that are tied to missions, and you will also encounter behemoth drones. Other than that, if you are just solo exploring the open world, you will come across 0 drones until you activate a mission, or for instance, it's a behemoth drone. So now moving on to the user interface item wheel, the devs took this opportunity to rework some aspects of the item wheel to make it easier to use, including making the wheel larger and allowing for more accessibility and customization as requested by the community. So with that being said, there are 2 new slots added to the item wheel, as well as the hand-thrown bullet that is going to be able to lure individual enemies. There are also no more distinction between defensive and offensive items, so you can pretty much put whatever items in that item wheel that you want. So now also moving along to one of the more juicy things in this post. So the class progression system has been updated, being the fact that there are now 7 classes in the game. The class rank limit has now been increased from level 10 to level 20, and rewards from the regular raid difficulty have been added to the class progression rewards to offer multiple unlock conditions and more accessibility to all players. So you will be able to get the Judge gear set, the ATAX gear camo, and the AK-47 assault if you max out the assault class, as well as with the sharpshooter class you will get the Commissaire gear set, the ATAX FS gear camo, and the Mark 14 assault. If you max out the Panther class, you will get the Flayed gear set, the ATAX ATX gear camo, the Scorpion Evo 3 tactical, and the ATAX ATX weapon camo. Moving along to the Medic class, you will get the Gollum gear set, the ATAX AU gear camo, and the MPX tactical. If you max out the Engineer class, you're going to get the full Architect gear set, as well as the Mark 48 saw and the ATAX AU weapon camo. Also, if you max out the Echelon class, you will get the Silencer gear set, the A2 Shorty, and the ATAX FG weapon camo. And last but not least, if you max out the Pathfinder class, you will get the Pioneer gear set, as well as the Tavor Scout and the ATAX LE weapon camo. So overall, this was an insane amount of content coming in this update, and I know a lot of you guys that wanted access to some of those raid items will now be able to do that by simply maxing out the class rank with this update. Do take note that the raid weapons have not been added to the class progression, so unfortunately to get those as of now you are still going to have to complete the raid. But overall guys, that is going to do it for the video. If you enjoyed it, you are excited about all of this content coming to Ghost Recon Breakpoint, make sure to drop a like on the video and also subscribe if you are new to stay up to date on all content with Ghost Recon Breakpoint on the channel moving forward. Also, let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comments, but overall, that is all for now. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.